Thank you very much for joining us, Tembisa. Now, South Africa is among countries that have been somewhat reluctant to condemn Russia. Can you tell us more on that?
Yes, South Africa has abstained from condemning Russia. That, of course, has not landed well in many South Africans who felt that South Africa should have taken a much more decisive position in this regard. So we find ourselves, of course, siding with few Southern African countries. The larger part of the countries in Africa have taken a much more proactive and straightforward position in this regard.
Is Europe thinking that we are going to be its sphere of influence? There are no superpowers, my last word. Otherwise, Afghanistan will not be left to those who are controlling it today if America was a superpower. There are no superpowers. That's why Syria is what it is now today, a country where the people cannot look at Iraq, look at all the world. There are no superpowers, China, Taiwan. We should abandon the superpower ideology. We should abandon spheres of influence. We should begin a cooperation of equality, knowing that in all parts of the globe, there are people of conscience, but they are not yet in power. How do we empower all those people so that we rid this world of tyrants, people who do not feel the suffering of people who do not need to change the world? It's not that your interpretation is correct, that African states do not want to condemn Russia. We do not want to be part of your foreign policy. We do not want you to use us. We want to be free to determine for ourselves whether we condemn or not condemn and when we will condemn. So it is important for you to change your mentality, that we need to understand that we are all equal, and sometimes we are in fact more advanced than you in thinking of what should be done about the world. Thank you very much.
South Africa has decided to sit on the fence for obvious reasons. One is that South Africa is a part of BRICS, and Russia is part of BRICS. And the other thing is South Africa continues to peddle this middle ground type of foreign policy, pushing for talks and insisting that this kind of discussion should have been taken to the Security Council, and there the Security Council should have actually dictated the way forward, even though, of course, we know that Security Council, with Russia being the president of the current Security Council and the permanent member of the Security Council, vetoed the resolution that was presented to it.
Now, we know that Russia has been active in the continent, especially since 2008. Is their involvement in Africa finally paying off?
Well, it depends what kind of involvement. You know that its involvement at the moment has been mainly sponsoring militia in Mali, in Mozambique. So it's not been business compared to what China's been doing. I mean, China's diplomacy in Africa has been mainly business. It's a business foreign policy, particularly as China continues with Belt Road Initiative. It seeks to create more friends than enemies. But Russia, on the other hand, has been having different relationships in Africa. So whether that relationship is paying off or not, I'm not quite sure. It's true, because if you look at the pattern of voting, you don't have a majority African countries that have actually decided to vote against the resolution. You have most African countries deciding to abstain, but there is quite a sizable number of African countries who have gone on to vote with the resolution.
All right, thank you very much for those insights. Tembisa Fakude joining us from Johannesburg.